alongside. I'm Vic Faust. We're ready to get you going on a Monday. Glad you guys are with us as always, jumping on the show. X, YouTube, and Facebook. It's all about you guys. It's all about St. Louis, sports, news, whatever's going on, entertainment from the weekend, all those things. We're glad you're with us today. We're ready to get some things going on. And, of course, we need you guys with us as we do it. With that being said, lots to get into when it comes to all the local sports. I feel like the St. Louis area, I don't know if we're being... Why can't we have any good sports teams here? Why can't we do it? The Blues, terrible over the weekend. Terrible. We'll talk about the Blues. They get ready to try to go get right on the road. And maybe that's exactly what the doctor has ordered. The Blues have 5 straight road games coming up. They can't win at home. For whatever reason, they can't win at home. And that's a sad state of affairs right now. So we hope that sooner or later they'll be able to figure something out. We will set the stage for the Blues. How about some high school football shout outs for some high school teams? Yes, we'll talk about your St. Mary's Dragons, producer Rise, alma mater.
Yes, sir. You know, we won 2 district championships this week, so let's go.
Well, one counts.
Yeah, one counts.
St. Mary's cheated in their other one, according to Misha. So they pulled back their district title.
Yep. Shout out the Mizzou.
I know Mike England would never do anything against the grain of what should be done. Miscommunication. So, yeah, that big win over Luther North, that's for sure. Talk about some. And I haven't seen anybody run any stats, but whether you're a high school football fan or not, it is absolutely amazing to think that in a high school football game, you could have a team win 77-62 in a game, one game, no overtime. I'm like, well, what? I was watching the game going, 0 defense whatsoever. 0. You're talking just under 140 points score, 139 points in a high school football game in regulation. That, of course, was CBC. I've been trying to tell people they're the best team. Sorry, I won't even get into it with you-know-who across the river. Nobody can stop them. This is the best offense I've ever seen in high school, ever. Ever. They're that good. They are that good. Brett Gabbert had some damn good offenses at CBC before he went to Miami, Ohio. But this is darn near 77 points against a Lafayette team that had been playing some pretty good defense as well. But they scored 62 on CBC. 0 defense, 77-62 in a high school game. So we'll get into that. Some interesting 6A matchups, 5A matchups. By the way, your St. Mary's Dragons have a tilt with Parkway North coming up.
Yeah, no.
That's a 4A battle for you right there.
Yeah, it is.
I want to go watch it. I like some high school football as it is. So anyway, we can get into that. You had Mizzou football over the weekend. On Friday, I told everybody bet Missouri -6.5. I think I told everybody that on this show. Do you remember me telling people on that show here, Rye? Or was it a different show?
No, you said it here too.
I said, guys, go bet Missouri -6.5. They blew that out of the water.
Yeah, they did. 300 yards rushing.
Now I'm telling you to take Oklahoma -9.5 next week in Norman. We'll see. I'll get to that throughout the week. Yeah, by the way, Missouri goes to Oklahoma. We'll get into that. They're a 9.5-point underdog at OU. That is a lot of points in my humble opinion there. A lot of points. Especially with the defense as good as Missouri's. Interesting line. We'll talk about that. Well. Chief fans all over America. Your team is 5-5. And I am not convinced the Broncos. The Broncos, to me, I don't know, might be the worst 8-2 team I've seen. I think I like the Patriots at 8-2 better than the Broncos. That's up to you guys. You tell me what you I mean, Have you seen two more unelectric 8-2 football teams ever than the Patriots and the Broncos? They're both 8-2. And I watch them and I'm like, how? How?
I'm not gonna say competition because they're all pros, but if you look at their schedule,
The Eagles 8-2. Watched them last night. How? They scored 16 points against a Lions defense that's missing 5 starters?
telling you the best team in the NFC is the Rams.
It's the Rams. They proved it yesterday.
I've been saying it all year. They should be undefeated right now. They've literally only lost due to special teams and just
An 8-2 football team, an 8-2 Rams team that actually looks the part. And I was getting to that. They do. They look the part. They look like the best team in the NFL. They do. So it's good for Rye Guy. He likes his Rams. He likes his St. Mary's Dragons. It's a good week for him. We'll let him bask in the sunlight of success this week. Your Eastside Flyers also dominating. Nobody's going to beat them for their state title this year.
Oh, of course. I didn't have to even say that.
Well, I do, to be out of respect. I'd still love to see the matchup between East St. Louis and CBC in this area for charity, for something, for whatever. That would be fun. But in the day of NIL, they're not going to be playing any extra high school games.
Yeah, I think they need to make it the first game of the year and really have them. That can be a real test for both teams.
I know. I don't like it the first game of the year, though.
Oh, because you want them to be.
Yeah, you don't know what you have. You get It's just those first games are so weird. But that's
game?
Yeah. Middle of the season game. That's what I would love to see. Anyway, those are things that are going on. We'll talk about Mizzou football's win. We'll talk about what's ahead. We'll talk about Ahmad Hardy. There's a lot of sports on Mondays. We know Mondays, it hits a lot of sports out of the weekend. And then Tuesdays always seem to be a heavy news day. Anything else you guys want to talk about, let us know. We'll jump into that, obviously. Mizzou and then Ahmad Hardy, what he's doing. And it's also interesting. You've got 3 of the top 4 running backs in America either have a Mizzou connection or are from St. Louis. It's really cool. We'll talk about that. Are the Chiefs done? Is their season over? They have an easy schedule remaining. They really do. They'll be favored in their games, except they host the Chargers and they host the Broncos. Those are the 2 toughest games they have left. And I am not kidding you when I say this. They could run the table. I am not kidding you. As much as it may seem the sky is falling for the Chiefs, look at their schedule. I think they'll be favored in every single game. I am not, unless they implode this next week. They host the Colts this week. And I have a feeling they will be favored. If you get a chance, Mr. Wright, can you look up and see if there's a point spread line on the Chiefs hosting the Colts this weekend at Arrowhead Stadium? I have a feeling they still may be favored or be a pick 'em, even though they're a 5-5 team against the Colts.
The line is 3.5 plus 3.5.
So the Chiefs are minus 3.5.
No, I think it's going. Oh no, Colts plus 3.5 at Chiefs. Yes.
So the Chiefs are okay. The Chiefs are favored by 3.5 points over the Colts.
Yep.
Welcome to the NFL. That's crazy to me, because think about this. We're talking about Indianapolis, who is 8-2. You've got an 8-2 Indianapolis team at the Chiefs, who are just 5-5. Of course, the Colts would be favored, right? Nope. The Chiefs have the Colts, they have the Chargers, and the Broncos all at home, and they're going to be favored. I think the Chiefs will be favored in every single game they play from here on out. I'm not kidding.
It's not ridiculous to say that.
As much as it seems they're done, they may not catch the Broncos, but I'm telling you, do not put a fork in the Chiefs yet, because of the schedule that remains. It is such an easy skill. I say easy. Maybe it's just because I don't respect the Colts. I mean, think about this. The Chiefs coming up you tell me, they've got the Colts this week. They're favored against the Colts by 3.5. Then they play at the Cowboys. I would say win. They host Houston, win. They host the Chargers. They're going to be favored. At Tennessee, come back home, host the Broncos, and then they're at the Raiders. I think they're going to be favored in every single game as long as those players stay healthy. Could they run 7 straight and finish the year 12-5?
I don't know. I could see 11-6.
Yeah.
11-6.
There's so many darn Chiefs fans all over the area. That's why I was bringing that up. Like, oh, really? Okay. So we got that to get into. After a beautiful weekend of weather. Yesterday was a little chilly, but lots of sunshine. Friday and Saturday, absolutely stunningly gorgeous. 60 for a high today. 71 tomorrow, still 61 Wednesday. 66 Thursday. 64 Friday. The possibility of rain during the week as well. Those things are right there for you from a weather standpoint. Not as much sun this week or today, but still the temperatures mild as we head into the third week of November. I mean, we're not freezing. Some people may get cold, but we're not freezing. That's a fact. So that's something to enjoy as well. Other news headlines, things that are going on. It was an adoption day in St. Louis over the weekend. 32 kids adopted just in St. Louis County. Adoption is a wonderful thing. If you've ever adopted or if you know anybody who's been adopted, it is such a needed thing that happens. And we can't give it enough attention. That is for sure. Also, crazy story. But like bombs, homemade DIY bombs going off near home in Lake St. Louis. We'll get into that as well. That's also going on. Was at a high school football game Friday night, walking up the hill, and I hear a little kid be like, 6'7", 6'7". I'm like, oh my gosh, there it is again. And now elementary students are giving tickets for saying 6'7" by Indiana school resource officers. So we talked about teachers getting on kids for saying that. I was like, huh? What? Really? Like, okay. If that's what it is, that's what it is. And I'm trying to figure out and stay happy today too. I'm a little bummed. My Lions lost last night. And they had no offense. They were missing Sam Laporta. I'm tired of the Lions having this really good team. And for 2 straight years now, all kinds of injuries. All kinds of injuries. No Sam Laporta, who's arguably one of the top 3 receiving tight ends in the league. Without him last night, they struggled against a pretty good defense. That's for sure. Anything else you guys want to talk about too? Jump on in. Let us know. Like, subscribe, share the show. X, Facebook, and YouTube. Once again, that's X, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll talk about those things that are going on. You can also give us a call if you want to, 855-282-8255. Once again, that is 855-282-8255. What did you do over the weekend? How did you spend your time with the great weather? What do you have coming up this week? We love to promote anything and everything that we can when it comes to the St. Louis area. You guys just have to let us know what else when it comes to charitable work going on. We can talk about that as well. We're here for you guys. Ran into somebody over the weekend ride that loves the show, loves the concept of trying to talk all things St. Louis when it comes to sports. It was all good to have that conversation. And also, when it comes to the music scene, somebody else brought up the fact that we have a lot of good concerts going on in St. Louis. You guys let us know. Where'd you go? What are you doing? If anything's going on that we've missed, interviews from that standpoint, let us know. We'll do that too. And just get everybody going on a Friday. Hot Take Central 2.0, by the way, follows us Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. You have the MIZ STL show that starts at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And then it's the posse, Charlie Toon and his posse, Monday through Friday.
Yep. We got a big time interview today, too.
11 to 1. We love to promote our own people, too. What's going on?
Today, we are having Misha come on.
Wait a minute, the singer or entertainer?
No, Misha.
Who's Misha? Oh, Misha, the high school Misha?
Yeah.
About what? Charlie, what's he bringing Misha on for?
The St. Mary's High School soccer situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you set that up?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No. I didn't set it up.
Okay. I was just curious where did you go to high school?
Oh, St. Mary's High School.
Okay, but now you know why I asked.
Yeah, I know, but no, I didn't set it up. I'm just like, I just want to see their side too, though. But I didn't set it up.
So is Mike England coming in then?
No, it's not going to be a square off. No.
All right.
No, Mike England came on Friday, so I think Misha's just returning the favor.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's what they'll do. I don't. But it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. I just want to see what they're going to say, though. I think it's going to be interesting. Like,
he said, she said, he said, she said, all those things going on. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Deal's already done. Like, that's how I felt when they didn't let me play my sophomore year. I'm like, oh, they already made their decision, but I just want to see what they said. And they gave their reasoning, and that was it.
Yeah, that was last week. If you did know, St. Mary's won a soccer game, but allegedly they won the district, but we're playing with 6 players that should have been suspended for the game, according to Misha, because they were involved in a bench clearing brawl in the previous game before that. They had left the bench. And then there was what I don't know is this, because Mike England from St. Mary's said, well, if Misha would have told us, we would have worked with them and those players wouldn't have played. But if those players wouldn't have played, they wouldn't have won the game, is what I'm told. That everybody knows that St. Mary's would not have won the game without those 6 players playing.
He said, what did he say on Friday? He said,
I was told that by another soccer aficionado in high school in the St. Louis area.
He said that they didn't play like 4 guys or something. I don't know. I just want to hear what everybody has to say about it for real. But he was like,
yeah, so that'll be up on Charlie's show today. You guys can jump in on that. Enjoy the show as well. Yeah, we continue to talk about that. And it may be better to talk about that than the Blues, although we do have to get the Blues. And we will. We will. It's just frustrating when you watch your team not do so well. And you're like, man, why can't we be better? Why can't we win games? All those things going on. Also, I always try to shout them out. Shout out to the Urban League. Mike McMillan and his crew do so much for the St. Louis area. They had an event on Saturday where they were literally just giving food because of what happened with SNAP benefits and the government shutdown. And then, of course, people, I know it's over 6 months later, but still there are people in some really bad situations since that tornado. I mean, you had lines of people. If there's not a need, there won't be lines of people waiting. I mean, not for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, but 30 minutes to an hour to try to get food. That should put things into perspective for you from that standpoint. So congrats and special condolences, or not condolences, but shout outs to what Mike does with the Urban League. If you ever have a chance to donate or promote what the Urban League does, check them out. You'll see what I saw too, and what I've seen for a long time. They really do help. They're trying to care. They're trying to get that out there. Also, a good shout out when it comes to, we don't have our professional sports that are doing well, but Illinois football won over the weekend. You know, they're 8-3. Missouri won. We'll get into that. How about soccer? Their SLU men's team won on penalty kicks against Dayton yesterday. They claimed the A10 men's soccer title. So now the NCAA tournament awaits for them. Also, Lindenwood's soccer team won the Ohio Valley Conference over the weekend. They get to go play in the NCAA tournament. So there are some positive notes for you from that standpoint over the weekend. Also, got a note. I was asked, by the way, in this current day of NIL, in a Power Four conference, the average going rate for a quarterback is about $1.5 million, if you didn't know already. $1.5 million when you're a starter. Young Matt Zollers coming into Mizzou. I was told this over the weekend, too. And these totals go up when you become a starter, too. He was 19 years old, coming to Mizzou. He's at least between $500,000 and $600,000 already. Matt Zollers, 19-year-old quarterback. That's how much money he has right now, or at least he was making at Mizzou as a third-string quarterback, and then the money goes up. So I just want to give everybody an idea of why NIL has changed, whether you like it or not. How sustainable is the model? How much money will continue to come in and fly in? But some of those tidbits are things that you don't get every day, and then you like to see what they have going on. Also, SLU men's basketball over Grand Canyon the other night. That's another win for them. They stay undefeated and looking pretty good. Missouri basketball, men's basketball, also back in action tonight as well. And then you have what appears to be a boring game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. Is that mean of me to say that they're boring? Those are two boring football teams, right? They're just boring.
No, they are boring.
There's nothing with those two teams. And that's your NHL action. The Blues, which we'll get into too, they don't play until tomorrow night. They begin their road trip tomorrow night as well. So anything else that you guys want to jump in on, let us know. We'll do that too. We are finding all those things that are happening in St. Louis. Anything else from the weekend that you want to promote, that you want to talk about, let us know. It's very easy to miss some of those things that are happening. But, it was a terrific weekend. Anybody doing great in the community? What's got your energy this morning? What has your attention this morning? We'll talk about that too. And like I said, we'll talk about the high school stuff. And it's also just sharing the stories that you guys have. Anything else that you want to share? Businesses, who's treated you well? Anything from that standpoint. Producer rides alongside. I'm Vic Faust. By the way, I also want to give a congratulations to Mike Claiborne. He was recognized as a living legend yesterday, the National Association of Black Journalists. DNA BJ recognizing Mike Claiborne. Know Mike for a long time. He comes in here a lot. Does show. He's been with us. He's been on with the Mizzou show. Of course, STL Sports Central, Cardinals broadcaster. Been around for quite some time. So congrats to Mike on yet another honor in his repertoire. So we got those things coming on. We'll come back. We'll get into more of the local stories, making news, anything else you guys want to do. 855-282-8255. Jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube at Arch City Now. It is a Monday. It is November 17th. And the sun is up. The sun is out, and we're ready to rock and roll in this morning. Arch City Now, producer Ryan Vic Faust back with more. We are your Lou information station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com.
Your new daily companion, the Lou information station.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Glad you're with us. 6:35 on a Monday morning, November 17th. Hope you guys are rocking and rolling today. All is good in the world, November 17th. Don't know if you guys are November birthdays or not. I know a lot of people around November just have their birthdays. Shout out to my firstborn. It's her birthday today. Always fun to see those kids getting older. Not. It means we're getting older. Anyway, but happy birthday to her.
Oh, I think also somebody from the show ran into your daughter too. She wanted me to bring that up to you.
Somebody did what?
Jennifer, I think. Yeah, Jennifer. She said she ran into your
Jennifer
daughter.
who?
Pardo.
Oh, ran in. I wonder how she knew my daughter.
It was like over Mizzou weekend. I think it was something. It was something
Interesting.
Work or something. I don't know.
Maybe it was a party or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, she brought that up last week.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. Jennifer Bard. So wait a minute. It was last week?
Yeah, because on Tuesday.
Oh man, you got to keep me updated on those things. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Feel bad.
Yeah, I forgot.
My daughter didn't even tell me.
Yeah.
All right. That's all good. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll make it up from there. X, Facebook, and YouTube. Arch City Now. That's where you can join the show. Watch us right now. Glad you guys are with us, as you always are. All St. Louis all the time with those things that are going on. Okay. If there's a news story, something from a St. Louis perspective that you want to get into, let us know. Jump it on the show. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m., of course. YouTube, X, Facebook, which we were just talking about. Of course, you can always catch us at luinfo.com. And, of course, just listen on the radio, 590 a.m. We are here. Those are the things that are there. We say good morning to you, Donna. Thanks for jumping in on the show tomorrow morning. Thanks for saying hi. Also, very cool that Donna says she donated a pie to a local food bank for Thanksgiving. Yeah, you can do that too. Jump in, go and help. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have a lot of time, but your time and whatever money you can give is always much appreciated. It is the season. Not only does it help people, but it also feels good to give, and you have an opportunity to do that. So we appreciate it also when you guys like, subscribe, and share our show. We're here for you guys, and that's what we want to do. So let's get it going on today. You guys are here, we're here, and of course, we start there. All right. I'll do it right now. I'll get into it because we'll do it a little bit later to get back from Monday night. Okay, it's the Blues. They were in a situation Friday night where they should have won, and they didn't. They had a 2-goal lead twice, and then they ended up losing in overtime. Not a good night for the Blues. And then they had to do a back-to-back. And then you had a Vegas team coming in the next night who just took control. They're up 4-0 at one point, ended up winning 4-1. So you literally, have a Blues team now looking for answers, trying to find out who they are, what they're going to do. You don't want to get too far back in the standings. They're tied for last place in their division. Not a good place to be. Second fewest points in the Western Conference, or the NHL for that matter. But they're still not that far back from a playoff spot, which makes you think, yes, the start has been terrible, but it hasn't eliminated any possibilities of them, winning 2, 3, 4 in a row, and streaks that we've seen this club have. Guys on this team be a part of win streaks like that. In the past, they're a 3-4 game win streak away from being right back in things. Really, that's kind of what it breaks down to. But we continue to say that, and then we're like, well, when does it ever happen, Vic? What's going on? They can't win games at home. They do have more overtime losses than anybody else in the league. So at least they're getting overtime. I'm splitting hairs trying to find the positive with that team. I am. They definitely need Jake Neighbors back. Can't wait to get him back when that happens. But right now, when they take the ice, it's just like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with this team? Do we know? So they're 6-9-4 through 19 games of the season. You play another game and you're about a fourth of the way through the season already. Yeah, you're about a fourth of the way through the season right now. And you're 6-9-4. Obviously, of those 9 losses, 4 of them coming in overtime. So that's my positive, is that they're hanging in there. The not so great thing about that is the fact that their 16 points is the second. I mean, it's the second lowest in the entire NHL with a few other teams. The other problem with the Blues right now is the fact that they can't win at home. So maybe going on the road will be a good thing for them. Speaking of home, this is what's insane about our local team. And by the way, credit to the Blues fans who've been buying up all the tickets and going out and being a great crowd, lots of energy in the midst of this really bad start to the season. Dude, the Blues have just 3 wins in their last 14 games. 3 wins in their last 14 games. Is something big going to be done to mix up this team? I don't know. I mean, and what do you do? What do you do to turn the tide? I think these next 5 games are going to be massive for the Blues. Why? Well, they're on the road for 5 straight games starting tomorrow night. Maybe this is exactly what they need. They get away from home. They get away from a lot of maybe the unpositive talk that they may hear. Get away from family and friends and things that are normal, natural, comfortable, and get out on the road. You become one as a team. This is me being very positive. But so you're saying there's a chance, Vic? Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, what else are they going to do? I'm trying to find the positive there. So you've got the Blues. Now, here's their issue. 5 games on the road against some decent teams. They're at Toronto tomorrow night. Then they're at Philly on Thursday, at the New York Islanders on Saturday, next Monday at the Rangers, next Wednesday at the Devils, before they come back again at the end of next Friday, not this coming up Friday of this week, for another back-to-back night, Friday, Saturday night. Hosting Ottawa, hosting Utah, and then Monday, hosting Anaheim. So they'll have a Friday, Saturday, Monday, 3 games in 4 days when they come back. But right now they have those 5 games on the road, tied for last place in their conference. This trip will be very telling because then you're over a quarter of your way into the season. I don't know what you would call a successful trip with 5 road games, but there's a possibility of 10 points up in the air. 2 points for a win, of course. What will they come back with? All the hype, all the circumstance, the pomp around the Blues. And I was scared to death of it to start the season. I thought it was too much. I was like, let's let this team win. We're putting too much pressure on them. Save our city from sports. That's a Cardinals' fault. And here we are waiting for the Blues to come out of it. So 3 wins in their last 14 games. They get on the road tomorrow night. And hopefully the road is where they will find themselves, become one as a team, start playing the kind of consistent hockey for 3 periods. So they come back the night after Thanksgiving and get us going. By the way, Guns and Hoses next Wednesday night as well. If you haven't been, you're younger. Have you had a chance to get to Guns and Hoses yet?
No,
it's a pretty cool event. Firefighters, police, boxing, charitable night, enterprise.
for sure.
Oh yeah. For backstoppers, making money supporting the family members of fallen men and women, police, fire, first responders who have been killed in the line of duty. It's Backstoppers' #1 event of the year when it comes to money making. And they support so many families, and they support them for life. And you got to have money coming in. You got to be able to have it sustainable. And the Guns and Hoses event is huge. Can watch it too on Fox 2 that night, the night before Thanksgiving. This is Art City Now. We're here on a Monday morning. It's November 17th. That's the voice of producer Rye. I'm Vic Faust as well. Glad you guys are with us as always. You can jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Let us know how things are going. If you have any shout outs to give, we'll take that as well. Any story ideas, we do that too. Glad you guys are with us and making sure that we understand and know everything that's happening in the St. Louis area. That's why we like you guys getting involved. Promoting anything that's new, things that are good. Did you have some good experiences, places, maybe some experiences that were not so great? To watch that as well. So that's the St. Louis Blues side of things. Of course, you can make your comments on the Blues. You can get involved with that. And of course, we'll talk about that if there's anything specific. But, you know, it's a bummer. We can talk negative, but it's not going to do anything. It's not going to help this team. That's for sure. Okay. Mizzou football over the weekend. They ran and ran and ran all over South Carolina, specifically one Ahmad Hardy. I can say it with conviction, and you look at the defenses he has faced, and you look at the schedule that Missouri has played compared to some of the other running backs in America, and Missouri's Ahmad Hardy is the best running back in America. Now, let me finish this out and tell you. Not only does he lead the entire country in total yards rushed, but he has played an extremely difficult schedule with defenses, and it doesn't get any easier this week. Missouri's running back has rushed for 1,346 yards. He's going to be a first-team All-American, as he should be. And I'll get to the other guys in there in a second because it does have a St. Louis flair and a Mizzou Tiger flair as well at the top of the board when it comes to the best people at that position. Ahmad Hardy has rushed for 1,346 yards and 15 touchdowns so far. He had 300 yards of rushing Saturday night against Mississippi State. And Mississippi State is not some terrible football team. You look at their record, but they've played a lot of teams really tough all year. And it frustrates me to think, man, why didn't we run him more against Vanderbilt? Or excuse me, against Alabama, against A&M. And of course, we knew this was going to be the pattern for Saturday night, which is why I told everybody to bet Missouri, give up 6.5 points, and collect your winnings. And that's exactly what happened because we knew they were going to run all over Mississippi State with Ahmad Hardy. Won't be as easy against Oklahoma this week, who, by the way, had an upset win at Alabama over the weekend. So the new college football poll will come out, the rankings tomorrow night. But when it comes to Ahmad Hardy, not only does he lead the country, Mizzou's running back in rushing, he leads right now by 40 yards over a guy that plays at Jacksonville State. Now, Cam Cook's a good running back if you've seen him, but I'm sorry, Jacksonville State does not play anybody. It's just a fact. They don't play anybody. Cam, you hope maybe you'll go to the pros and have a really good career. But right now, you can't really be considered one of the best running backs in America against guys that are playing superb schedules. Sorry, I'll call it out. And then there's a drop-off of about 170 yards total to number 3, and that's Kewan Lacey, who was at Mizzou last year. Kewan couldn't even get on the field. He'd be the number 3 running back at Mizzou behind Jamal Roberts and Ahmad Hardy. Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
He'd be the 3rd running back at Mizzou, but he transfers to Ole Miss. And by the way, did I tell you what I was told why he left? First of all, it's a good thing he left, and I'm glad he did. But I was told it was over $5,000. Yeah, in this day of NIL. He wanted about 5,000 to 10,000 more, and he couldn't get it. So he's like, see ya. Ole Miss is paying me that. But Missouri is already paying so much money out. The Mizzou's NIL is big. Then the fourth running back right now in America, total yardage at just 1 yard behind Kewan Lacey at 11:35, is St. Louis native Jeremiah Love, who's having a really good year with Notre Dame. And I've heard people say, well, Jeremiah Love is the best running back in America. Well, he's good. I'll put him up there. I know Jeremiah. I know his dad. My son played with him at CBC the freshman year. He was Jeremiah's quarterback. I've been watching Jeremiah since he was in the 8th grade, playing against him. He is phenomenal. And I can't wait to watch him in the pros next year. But I'm not saying he's better than Ahmad Hardy right now. And Ahmad Hardy has played a more difficult schedule of defenses than Jeremiah Love has. Look at the defensive ranks and where they are, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And when you play in the SEC, it's a different type of schedule. It's a different type of deal. Here's a stat for you, producer Ryan. Missouri, after they play OU this week, which will be in the top 10, will have played 4 top 10 teams when they played them. 4 top 10 teams. That's why I'm like, okay, I don't want to hear the Big Ten talk with this. It's just Missouri will have played 4 top 10 teams in their schedule. And guess what? They still have the second easiest strength of schedule in the SEC. Total overall record, or total overall schedule. Second easiest, playing 4 top 10 teams after they play Oklahoma this week. Because we know that Oklahoma is going to jump up in the top 10, maybe even 5, 6. Who knows? After upsetting Alabama at Alabama. So my point in all of this is what a gem Ahmad Hardy has been. And he'll be back next year. I'm saying Jamal Roberts won't be. That's my call. I don't think Jamal Roberts is going to be there, but whatever. Somebody's going to pay him, or somebody should pay Jamal Roberts. Get him somewhere. Let him go show you what he can be as a feature back. All right, I'll say St. Mary Southside. There you go. I'll get it out there. But I've also been told by a former player at Mizzou who's still in the area, people there still aren't so sure if Hardy's better than Jamal Roberts. And I'm like, what? And they're like, I'm just telling you, they both have their positives. And if Hardy is better, you're splitting hairs. That's what I've been told. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and this is by a player who still around team, can't play because he got hurt, but he knows and he's there. And he told me how good Roberts really is. So there you go. St. Mary Southside.
Southside Catholic, baby.
Southside Catholic all the way. I'm just glad that Missouri has Hardy. And he's going to have a big game when they play next week at Oklahoma. I do like the fact that it's an early morning game. I'm telling you, as a former player, the early morning games, you always seem to play better. That's why I wished Mizzou could have gotten Alabama in a night game this year, that they could have gotten Texas A&M in a night game. It is so much more difficult to be an away player sitting around all day waiting for a 6:30 or 7 p.m. start. I'm just telling you, it's more difficult. When you're an away player, the best thing, it seems like the best you play is early morning, 11 o'clock. You go in on Friday night, get up early. No, you're going to go out and play. It just, for whatever reason, mentally, emotionally, it just makes sense. You play better. You know you're going to be back in your own town after the game as well. I like the fact that Missouri's playing 11 a.m. start in Norman this Saturday. So go to it. Mizzou, though, by the way, a 9.5 point underdog. That's a big spread. That is a big spread for a game of that magnitude at Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's defense, again, one of the top rushing defenses in America. I mean, they're good. They are top notch. But with Hardy, he rushed for right around 100 yards against Vandy, which was good. I mean, yeah, against Vandy, 20 carries for 90. Auburn was the tough game. That was the first game where Missouri saw an Auburn defense. He only had 58 yards on 24 carries. But Alabama, 12 carries for 52 yards. They just didn't rush him.
Yeah.
You rush him another 10 times at most, he's getting over 100 yards.
I just didn't understand that at all.
Yeah, that was a bad day of calling by Kirby Moore. At A&M, he rushed for 109 yards on just 13 carries.
Exactly.
They didn't rush him. 22 carries, 138 yards against South Carolina. And then, of course, this last weekend, and then against Kansas, 25 carries for 112 yards.
It's like they abandoned the run against good teams.
Yeah, and it wasn't, I know, it didn't make sense. And then 25 carries, 300 yards against Mississippi State.
It'd be different if Jamal was getting like 15 to 20 carries as well, but he'd be getting like 10 too. So it's like they're just abandoning the run.
They did, and they went back to it this week, and it's like, oh, now I know that Mississippi State's defense is not on par, run defense, with Auburn or Alabama or A&M, but my gosh, they're good, and they've played very well against some other teams. So Missouri with a lot to play for in Norman Saturday, but man, that is a very good Oklahoma team who now has their playoff aspirations really ignited. The last thing they want to do is get upset at home by Missouri. Missouri, by the way, back in the AP and Coaches Bowl. Coaches put them back in at 21. A lot of respect there. AP put Missouri back in at 23. There were a lot of teams that lost, I guess, between 20 and 25 last week, too. So those are things that are going on. We'll come back. We'll talk NFL, local sports, the colleges, what they've got going on, high school football shout-outs from the weekend. We'll talk about the weather forecast for the week. Should be a nice, decent day again today. Also, a couple news stories. Homemade bombs going off in Lake St. Louis. Just blow your mind from that standpoint. Any other news stories you want to get into? We'll do that after the break. No doubt about that. Vic Faust here, producer Rye alongside Art City Now on X, Facebook, and YouTube. And you can always catch us. We are your Lou information station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. Hello, hello, hello. 7:05 on a Monday morning, November 17th. Vic Faust here, Art City Now. Producer Ryan alongside as well. What a beautiful weekend from a weather standpoint throughout the St. Louis metro area. What's happening with you guys today? Jump in on the show if you want. We love it when you do it. Like, subscribe, share it. You can go to Art City Now. Once again, that's Art City Now on X, YouTube, and Facebook. I think I should change the name of the show. I don't know. I just think I should change it. Should be like St. Louis Today or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that. Ryle, you didn't make any graphics yet or anything, did you?
No, sir.
I know you were talking about that with your super talented self. Anyway, you guys, we appreciate it. What's happening in the Lou? Anything, news headlines, restaurants, entertainment, whatever the case, jump in. Let us know. We love it when you guys do that. Okay. We're here till 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes. Follow us from 8 to 10. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, today, of course, being a Monday, you've got the MIZ STL show from 10 to 11. And then the Posse, Charlie Toon and his Posse from 11 to 1 today. Misha, Missouri State High School Activities Association, will be represented on the show, talking about that St. Mary's situation from last week where the high school was accused of using illegal players. They won a district soccer title, and then we're told that game's suspended. The team you beat is now going to be moving on, not you guys. So they'll have that interview coming up today. We got a lot of Mizzou talk. Chiefs lost yesterday. We'll get into that. The Blues continue to lose, have only won 3 of their last 14 home games. So let's go on the road. Why not? Why not? Things can't get any worse. Head to the road. Maybe that'll be where you guys find yourself. You start playing, get away from here, any possible distractions, because clearly the Blues cannot win at home these days. Let's head to the road. 5 straight home games starting tomorrow night. We can talk about that as well. Positives with Lindenwood soccer. They won their first OVC championship. They're going to the NCAA soccer tournament. Then Division I. Then you've got SLU men. They won their Atlantic 10 yesterday. They're going with an automatic bid to the soccer tournament. So some positive there. Mizzou hoops in action tonight. They've got a game. They've got Prairie View, who they play tonight. SLU won basketball on Saturday against Grand Canyon. Nice win there as well. We can talk about those things. Any other NFL action from yesterday, as we were talking about, we'll get into that. Give out the high school football shout outs. A lot of really good district games from this last weekend. Promote the teams representing your area, your family, your whatever. That's a big deal. And then, of course, the weather this week looks really nice again for the 3rd week of November. Possibility of some rain throughout the week. Maybe even later today, tomorrow. Wednesday's supposed to be dry, but yeah, there's supposed to be some rain hitting us. But when it comes to the temperatures, still not getting really cold yet for what it could be. So that could be a positive from that standpoint. And of course, anything else that you guys want to talk about, get into, that's what we do there. You can jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube. You know, we like it when you do that. We like it when you guys are part of the show as well. All of this leading into Thanksgiving next week. Guns and Hoses, huge event at Enterprise next Wednesday. And that kind of kicks off the holiday season for Backstoppers. What a tremendous event. One of the best nationally when it comes to raising the money. Jesse Finney and his crew putting on some incredible fights when it comes to the firefighters and the police going at it, all in the name of supporting Backstoppers who support those in the line of duty who have passed away, supporting the families, the loved ones who have been left behind. So love how that all works out. Some other news headlines as well. You know, we cover it, sports, entertainment, news headlines, what's happening in the area. Love it when you guys jump in as well. With Thanksgiving coming up, AAA is projecting already a record number of travelers this year. I'm curious if anybody's taking off for the Thanksgiving holiday, or if you have people coming in. 81.8 million people expected to be traveling at least 50 miles from their home during the holiday period, starting November 25th. That number would represent a 2% increase of last year's Thanksgiving travel. How do they figure this out? Just guesstimating? Doing polls? Why would it be that it's up? I want to go see that family this year. Does it have to do with price, driving, gas? Really? I don't know. The majority of the travelers, nearly 90%, will be taking to the roads in cars. Now that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, especially if you have a big family or family in the area, that sort of thing. Airfare is up a little bit, they say. Hotels are down. Rental cars are down. Gas prices right around the same place where we were last year, to give you an idea. In Missouri, by the way, AAA also projected that out. They say 1.6 million people will travel, making a 2% increase from last year. Same thing in Illinois, 4.2 million people are expected to travel. Also a 2% increase over the previous year. Do you guys have plans? Is there something that you do every year? We'll talk more about Thanksgiving as we come into next week. The FAA has cut back on some of their restrictions that were there regarding the government shutdown. Now, I think the cutbacks went to about only 3%, which is good. At one point, they had about 6% cut. Now it has gone all the way down to 3% of the flights cut. So trying to get back on track, get back to where we need to be, and those sorts of things happening. We talk about all kinds of stories here. If you want to jump in on anything from a St. Louis standpoint, you can do that. Phone number, by the way, is 855-282-8255. Also, if you want to learn more about our show and everything that we have going on here and or programming for the entire week, you can do that at luinfo.com. Once again, that is luinfo.com. How was the weekend? Did you guys do anything? Want to promote any things that you did? What about events coming up this week or this weekend? We will listen to it from that standpoint as well. Glad you come in from there. Saturday, by the way, was it's National Adoption Day. There were 32 kids adopted in the St. Louis County area, and it can really go without saying, you change lives when you adopt and you get in line to adopt. And I thought it was just a really cool story that I saw that 32 just in the St. Louis County area going through that situation. So congrats to those families. Congrats to those who were adopted. And, just get families that love them and people that can help and take care of them from that standpoint. Okay, this was a bizarre story from Saturday night. Out in Lake St. Louis, you had some DIY bombs go off, literally do-it-yourself bombs near a family's home. They heard it. They didn't know what had happened. It sounded like explosives. They ended up being homemade explosive devices. And you literally, Keith and Gina Sanders, I know them. Played football with Keith at Mizzou for a while. So these explosions went off. And of course, we had some video from that. And of course, I lost my news story. Did we lose the video too?
No, I have it, but it's just I have to let the little ad play first.
Okay, that's why I was asking if we had it queued up.
Yeah,
I was just
queued up, but even after I have it queued, I gotta play an ad before I play it again. It's so stupid. But
okay, I gotcha. It's all good as long as we figure it all out. My news story went down as well. Go figure. I was like, come on. I was reading the story of this going off, literally the story, which is just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal story because you're sitting there in a quiet neighborhood going, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to go off? So they literally said their first reaction was to check on their special needs son, who was pretty much right in front of the explosion. So neighbors saw this too. One of their neighbors is a retired Marine. So it's very complicated. It's like what people are trying to do and what's going on. So the explosion was literally caught on camera by a neighboring home, which we were trying to show you, of course, who was eager to help share the videos to catch who did it. So the Sanders, after talking and speaking with Lake St. Louis police chief, said that 2 of the 3 suspects were in custody. He also said they will remain in juvenile custody until charges are filed. Yeah, in my opinion, they need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent, according to Sanders. No word on if they were just doing this, if they were intentionally trying to hurt somebody, but the bombs were placed near the Sanders home. I mean, that's no joke. That is absolutely no joke. They said that not only were they caught off guard by the explosions, they checked their front entryway where they discovered a plume of smoke and an odor. Scary. Most definitely scary situation. The last thing you're expecting on a Saturday night, especially in Lake St. Louis, to say the least. To say the least, for sure. No video? Come on, dude.
No, like I keep pulling.
Oh, man.
And it's just playing.
I had the big buildup.
It's literally just playing hotel ads. Like,
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Next time we'll make sure that we have it all set up to go from that
I don't even
standpoint.
think there's a video like up anymore of it. Like, I don't know. But
Okay. I see it, but we'll get it next time. This is Arch City Now. It's producer Ryan, Vic Faust. Glad you're with us. 855-282-8255. Once again, 855-282-8255. It's good to have the video. It's good to get these stories out there because you just never know what's going on. You never know what can happen. I also thought it was speaking of people and events that are going on around town, we promote what we can. We promote with our local teams, as we said that we would. I do love the fact that video, ring cameras, whatever you have, security cameras can help out so much. You know, they really can. And of course, it's good to have neighbors who will bring that video and that camera up. I mean, if you have a ring cam, it can drive you crazy. People are driving in front of your house all the time and dinging. But man, where would you be without video? Oh, that made me think about the game on Saturday too. I was watching South Carolina blow out A&M in the first half. Nick Harbor, one of the country's best receivers, scored a touchdown. I don't know if you saw this, right? He scored a touchdown. He ran up the tunnel. He kind of had a tweak in his hamstring. He and 2 of his teammates were walking back down, and a state cop intentionally walks in and like bumps him and then points at him, like tried to start trouble with him. Before the game was over, A&M relieved the state cop of his duties at the stadium, as they should have. And sometimes you won't know what's happening unless you have video. When there's video, then you can prove it, at least, and you saw the entire thing. As long as you see the entire incident. And in that case, you did see the entire incident. There are other cases where there's video of something and it clicks on at a certain time, but you don't see what happened before or maybe even after. So love that. Love to see what's going on when you get the eye in the sky, because it doesn't lie. You're not still trying to get video, are you?
no.
Okay, good. I'll leave it alone. I just wanted to make sure.
I don't know what's going on. Like the little.
Hey, not everything's going to be perfect.
You know the little box that like shows the video usually?
Yes.
Yeah, it just is continuously playing ads. I don't know. Like I'm just looking at each ad.
It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Okay, we're glad you're with us, guys. 7:20, just about almost 7:20 on a Monday morning, November 17th. We're here, ready to rock and roll from that standpoint. By the way, as we talk about these things happening, the Chiefs lose yesterday, a tight game, last second field goal. They're 5-5. Okay, it is what it is. But when you look at the remaining schedule for all you Chief fans throughout the St. Louis area, guess what? They're going to be favored, in my opinion, in every single game. The next 7 games, I could see them running the table. I'm not kidding you. I could. People are like, well, how could you even say that? Blah, blah, blah. They host the Colts this week. The Chiefs host the Colts, who are 8-2. They're a 3.5-point favorite over the 8-2 Colts. Let me repeat that for you. The Chiefs are 5-5. The Colts are 8-2. You would think the Colts would be favored, right? Nope, not at Arrowhead. The Chiefs are favored by 3.5 points. And the rest of their schedule, they're going to be favored. They host the Broncos. They host the Chargers. The other teams that they play are 500 or worse. I'm just saying, don't stick a fork in the Chiefs yet. They're 5-5. And I can tell you this, if they get in the playoffs, the last team you want to face, in my humble opinion, is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid because of what they've done. And guess who would face the Chiefs if they got into the playoffs as the last seed? The team that finishes number 2. I don't care who that team would be over in the AFC. And I think it's very difficult to try to figure it out now. Could you imagine if it was Buffalo? Could you imagine a first-round playoff game with Buffalo and Kansas City? And Buffalo's going, are you kidding me? We got to face the Chiefs again.
Oh, it's going to overtime.
Could you imagine? So a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. We'll see what could be. But don't put the Chiefs to bed just yet at 5-5 because the rest of their schedule. I mean, look at who they got. You've got the Broncos at home. You've got the Chargers at home. And then you have the Colts at home starting this week. I think they're going to be favored in every single game going out. So don't be surprised if the season ends and you find the Chiefs at 12-5, at worst 11-6, and in a playoff spot. It will be very interesting. Just remember when the Chiefs lost, because they're now 5-5. Other surprises maybe from the NFL, not necessarily surprises, but you have Colts who are 8-2. The Patriots are 8-2. What? The Patriots? The Broncos, 8-2. Just a bunch of 8-2 teams that I'm just like, I believe in the 8-2 Eagles to an extent, but they haven't even been the same that they were last year. Yeah, they beat the Lions last night in a defensive struggle. Was it 16-9? But they don't have the offense they did. They just don't. They're 8-2. The Lions defense is all beat up with injuries yet again this year, missing their best players, missing their best tight end last night, and they barely beat the Lions, who fall to 6-4. The Bears are not real at 7-3. I'm telling you that right now. They're not. The Bears are not. Heck, the Lions beat them up bad when they played them. So who's real and who's not in the NFL? I'm not putting to bed the Kansas City Chiefs just yet. Hey, when we talk about this weekend, Missouri, big win. They've got Oklahoma coming up this week. They're a 9.5-point underdog. We'll get into them a little bit later, too. 9.5-point underdog. Ahmad Hardy, though, 300 yards of rushing. We'll be shocked if he's not the National Offensive Player of the Week after a 25 carry, 300-yard performance, 3 touchdowns. He has 15 touchdowns on the season. He's an All-American. He's the best running back in America. Jeremiah Love out of St. Louis and CBC for Notre Dame. He's up there, too. I would put him up there. I don't think he's played the defenses that Ahmad Hardy has, my humble opinion, when you break down the stats, but he's up there a couple hundred yards behind. Kejuan Lacey, ironically, for Ole Miss, he was on Mizzou's roster last year. He couldn't even break the top 3 or last year. And then this year they bring in Hardy, and he took off to Ole Miss, and he's having an outstanding year as well. So congrats to Kejuan. He's just a couple hundred yards behind Ahmad Hardy as well. There's a kid, Cam Cook, who's really good for Jacksonville State, but he doesn't play the schedule that the other guys do, so he won't get the hype. But very, very interesting to say the least. SLU men's soccer over the weekend. They won the Atlantic 10 in penalty kicks against Dayton. They're headed to the NCAA soccer tournament. They'll wait for that bid. Lindenwood also winning over the weekend. They won the OVC, the Ohio Valley Conference, for the first time. They're going to the Division I men's soccer tournament as well, just waiting to find out on that bid too. So congrats on that standpoint when it comes to those things that are happening for them. Another interesting note that I thought, producer Rye, you're an NBA guy. We talked about the big controversy from a month ago when Chauncey Billups, Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, and a couple other NBA players were busted for illegal poker games and information on betting. Now Chauncey has been listed as a coach who is giving insider information to gamblers on his own team, which gets even worse now. And you're like, oh man, really? So that's what Chauncey Billups is now being accused of. Quote, identified as a coach who gave information to bettors to place illegal bets on the Trailblazers. That, yeah, I mean, lifetime ban. They prove something like that. That is not going to be a good situation where they go with that and what they and how they handle that. So who knows? It doesn't look good for Chauncey right now. That's for sure. But those things can happen. Yeah, they can happen. Just not a great situation all the way around when it comes to that. Okay. High school football shout-outs. Oh, shoot. Maybe I have to do that when we come back at the end of the break. Well, maybe I get a chance to get that in there. Over the weekend, Friday night, CBC beat Lafayette 77-62 in a high school football game. And it took a long time to play, as you could imagine. 77-62. Lafayette lost. Congrats. They had another really good year. It's a team that's, they don't put out tons of Division I players, but damn, they just win and they look good and they play tough. Lafayette really up in 6A this year. They were in 5A last year, playing in 6A this year. So they got stuck in the district with CBC. But that game was a battle, back and forth, as you can see by the score, no defense. I was just curious to find out if that's an all-time Missouri record for points in a game. What do you have to think? I mean, you're talking about what, 139 points? 139 points in a high school football game. I know a team that could use their offense in the area, that's for sure. Too bad it's too late to teach this certain coach how to coach offense. But I digress. Also, shout out to St. Mary's, South Side. They had a big win. Do you think that was an upset win over Lutheran North? They beat Lutheran North just because Lutheran North had the name, but Lutheran North didn't have the team this year that they normally do.
No, I don't think it really was an upset for...
Because St. Mary's has been down for a few years.
Yeah, they were down for a few years, but it's still St. Mary's, the same St. Mary's that, I don't know, didn't they just go to state a couple years ago?
Yeah, but they've been down for a few years.
So I don't know if it's really an upset. I think it's just a team that's been coached well. You know,
yeah,
gotta win. Congrats
to them. Cardinal Ritter, another blowout district win for them. They're moving on. So, yeah, you got your St. Mary's and Parkway North. They won. That'll be interesting. Also, I went to Fort Zumwalt West and Troy Buchanan the other night, 6A matchup. Fort Zumwalt West was down 14 points with 6 minutes left. Came back, tied the game, forced overtime, and won on a field goal in overtime.
That's a classic.
They scored the touchdown. And I left with about 6-7 minutes left. And somehow, someway, West came back. So that's a big. So West now plays Pattonville. Pattonville beat Rittner. So they host that. That's another interesting matchup this week where you get to a sectional game where you have two local teams playing against each other. Kirkwood won as well over Eureka, making sure we're not leaving people out. And if we are, sorry, just giving those shout outs to those teams that deserve it, because those are some really interesting matchups for the weekend, of course. That's coming up this week with football playoffs and high school football. So CBC still in it from that. And you also had who else here? getting a big win over the weekend. I didn't want to leave anybody out when it came to that. Just making sure I was trying to find those matchups. Yeah. I think Fort Zumwalt North. So, yeah, just making sure I was checking all of those games out from that standpoint. But anyway, lots of good games from a high school standpoint. Basketball is getting ready to start in the area. The high school basketball scene is also dynamic in the St. Louis area. If you guys want to give shout outs as well to any local high schools, the high school teams from the football standpoint, any games that you guys might have been to as well, feel free to do that. Also, we were talking about St. Mary's winning their district title in soccer and football, but having the soccer go back. Fort Zumwalt West also moving on to the Final Four now. So Fort Zumwalt West football team and soccer team with a really good run right now. So congrats to them. Okay, we'll continue to talk St. Louis, all things St. Louis all the time. Any other national stories you have that make sense here, jump in, let us know. We'll take a quick break. This is Art City Now. Producer Rise here. I'm Vic Faust. 7:31 on a Monday morning. The sun is shining right now. Should be about, I don't know, look at the temperature, 61 degrees today, or 60, just over 60. Another really nice day in the Lou. Enjoy it. Enjoy the fall weather, November 17th. We'll take a quick break. You can give us a call if you want to as well. The phone number there is 855-282-8255. We are your Lou information station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Glad you're here. Arch City Now, getting you rocking and rolling on a Monday morning, kickstarting our programming here in the AM. Arch City Now, we're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m., bringing you everything St. Louis, all things St. Louis all the time. Anything else you guys want, you can jump in on the chat line as well. X, Facebook, and YouTube. Once again, that's X, Facebook, and YouTube. Let us know what's got you going today. What's got your meter going? What's got your energy? What are you up to this week? What did you do over the weekend? You enjoying this weather? Anything and everything, jump into the chat line. We'll get that out for you, or you can give us a call as well. Phone number there, 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. We are your Lou information station. We are always live and on demand at louinfo.com. 7:38 on Monday morning, taking you to 8 o'clock. By the way, Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us every morning, Monday through Friday. Former Blue Cam Jansen, Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes, take you till 10 o'clock. On Mondays, today, don't miss the MIZ STL show. A lot of Mizzou coverage, not only from a football standpoint, but basketball. Missouri basketball in action tonight against hosting Prairie View, as they have a couple games coming up that they should be winning and taking care of before the first week of December rolls around, when they have a tilt with Notre Dame and then Kansas. But a lot of Mizzou football coverage, also talking about the game Saturday and, of course, the game ahead with Oklahoma on Saturday. We may touch upon that here before this segment ends as well. But that's the MIZ STL show today from 10 to 11 o'clock. And then it's Charlie Tune and the Posse from 11 to 1 today. One of their guests will be representative from MISHA, Missouri State High School Activities Association, when it comes to sports in Missouri. Talking about, on Friday, Mike England, president, CEO of Southside, St. Mary's Southside Catholic High, having to give up their soccer district title last year for playing what MISHA called were illegal players, following a game brawl that happened the game before their district title. Mike gave his opinion from St. Mary's on Friday. MISHA coming in to talk things over with Charlie Tuna today on this Friday. I won't say anything about MISHA. I'll just be quiet right now and let them figure that whole situation out there, if you can figure anything out from that standpoint as well. A lot of fun there. Way to go. Also, when it comes to Mizzou, you can give your shout outs there as well. Ahmad Hardy with a huge night, 300 yards against Mississippi State. Positive notes we've been giving them now too. SLU Soccer beats Dayton, wins the A10. They're advancing to Division I soccer championship. Lindenwood wins their first OVC title. So they're moving on to their Division I title as well. Congrats on the soccer programs here in the local area from doing that. And of course, talked a little bit about the Chiefs. I want to jump into this Blues thing here in this hours too. You've got the Blues. They've only won 3 of their last 14 games. That's an issue. Literally 3 games in their last 14. So typically you would think you would be better at home than you would be on the road. Well, maybe not. That's what we're going to find out very soon. That's because the Blues start a 5-game East Coast, even in Canada, starting in Toronto, trip tomorrow night. 5 straight games. They won't be back at Enterprise in St. Louis until next Friday. Not this Friday coming up. Next Friday. But it will be a back-to-back situation again for Blues fans. Friday night, Saturday night games, take Sunday off, and then come back on a Monday. So lots, and I repeat, lots of hockey that weekend. Now we find out if the Blues can get things going next week, or at least starting tomorrow night, because right now they're still tied for the lowest amount of points in the Western Conference, 16 in their division. Not a great thing. Calgary only has 13, but you also have a situation now where the Blues don't want to get too far behind. And we love them. We love this team. We want to see them do well. But they're right now at about the quarter mark of the season. A quarter of the way in. 19 games, just about. They'll definitely be over that by the end of this road trip. Who are they? Where are they going? Friday night, you're sitting in a spot up by 2 goals, I think twice. You end up losing it. And overtime again, 4 overtime losses already in the season. And then you come back Saturday night and totally get skated off the ice. Are you concerned? If you're a Blues fan, are you concerned? Yeah, we've seen this team come back from being a last place team to making the playoffs and winning a cup. But I don't know if this isn't the same team. Not even close. And when you see what happened on Saturday, that's an issue. Do they change anything? Can you change anything? Is this team changeable during the season? Yeah, they would like to get Jake Neighbors back. That's a big loss. But even he was a young guy coming into the season. Where is the team headed? So 3 wins in their last 14 games. And you're like, okay, are they going to be able to get anything done and be a positive team? So you got 5 road games, really have to find themselves. The defense really has to focus in. And of course, their goaltending. And when you're playing so many games back to back or a day here, a day there, what you've got to find is a 1-2 goalie combo that's going to make sense. And right now, they just don't have it. Whatever it is, the chemistry's not there. It's not working. It's not perfect. And you have to find out what you got. Okay. You can jump in from a Blues standpoint. What do they need to do? 855-282-8255. You can jump in on X, Facebook, or YouTube. Give us your opinion from that standpoint as well. Who knows? Who knows? But they got a chance to start tomorrow night. I think it could be a good thing. I really do. I'm left leaving that, at least. That's where we go. I don't know. So that's where you go from that standpoint. I did hear people talking this weekend, Rye, about betting in Missouri. It's coming. I mean, you've literally got less than 2 weeks and people can start betting legally and more easily in the state of Missouri. I really am looking forward to seeing what those totals are, what people are betting, what people are going to put money up for when it comes to what they're looking to do, because, man, that's going to be interesting. You got FanDuel. They're jumping through a lot of those things happening. And also, we were also told about, over the weekend, John Stanbrook from the Blues, their skating development coach. He passed away. Doug Armstrong had an announcement about that over the weekend as well. Just sad. Those things can happen. It is life. Hey, by the way, Cardinals update. More teams now talking. I'm sure Jim will have something to us, Jim the Cat Hayes, talking when it comes to Nolan Arenado. Cardinals trading him. He's probably going to be, and you're not going to get much for him. Would love to see Nolan, by the way, as the trade situation starts to talk again. Love to see him get with a contender. We thought that when he came to St. Louis, it would work out, that he'd have a chance. Now, he did not play well in the playoffs. Neither did Paul Goldschmidt. But still, came out, tried to do everything he possibly could to make that down. So I just really hope that he gets with a team and a contender, that he can get something done before his career ends and have a shot to compete for a World Series title. That's for sure. We are Arch City now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Glad you guys are with us. We're here with you all the time. Anybody freaked out about the Chiefs losing? Don't be. Don't be. I know they're 5-5. I know there's tons of Chiefs fans all over the area, but I'm telling you, their schedule sets up quite nicely, in my opinion. And I am not a Chiefs homie. I'm not a Chiefs slappy. I don't root for the Chiefs. I don't root against the Chiefs. I don't care about the Chiefs. I've got my own issues to deal with the Lions and their injuries. and a loss again last night. So I'm fine there. But I like the remaining schedule, bring it up and talk about it because there's so many Chief fans throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. If you're freaking out, don't yet. You've got Andy Reid. You've got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is blaming himself. This is the second time, though, in a couple of weeks where Mahomes is like, I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing what I should. They're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. And if they make the playoffs, you do not want to be a team that plays the Chiefs in the first round. You just do not want to be there doing that. I wouldn't want to be playing them either. That's for sure. No, thank you. No, thank you. Hey, by the way, from a weather standpoint this week, it looks pretty nice. Today's also shaping up to be a really nice morning. A little chilly outside right now, but the sun is out. And, late in the day, late tonight, we could see some showers into tomorrow. But 70 for a high tomorrow about. You're looking at temperatures there. 60 for Wednesday, 60 for Thursday. Friday starts to cool down a little bit with some rain. The weekend doesn't look that great when it comes to the weather. But once again, it could be a whole lot worse as we were in November. Into November 17th as we start this work week. Third week, of course, Thanksgiving holiday coming up next weekend. The weather not too shabby. Also, as we were just talking about a little bit ago, when it comes to next week, you've got Guns and Hoses, Backstopper's biggest charitable event of the year. Just a really good time down at Enterprise, kind of marking the start of the season, the holiday season that is. Wednesday night, you got Thanksgiving Day on Thursday. The Blues would be back in action on a Friday and Saturday. They come out doing what they've got to do after a long road trip. Look forward to that too. By the way, we're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. And when we were talking about Mizzou, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, the MIZ STL show is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 to 11. Grant Salzman, I'm joining him on Monday today to get that done, to talk about Ahmad Hardy. He'll probably be the National Offensive Player of the Week after rushing for 300 yards against Mississippi State on Saturday night, helping Mizzou get a much-needed win, 49-27. They're now 7-3. It was a big win for them, getting that 3-3 in the conference as well. They're up to 21 in the coaches poll, 23 in the AP poll, and then we'll see where that puts them in regards to the playoff pairings. And I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Oklahoma is a really good team, especially at home after beating Alabama. But Missouri does play at Oklahoma Saturday. They're a 9.5-point underdog going into that game. I thought it was a very high point spread, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I watched Oklahoma play this last week and upset Alabama. And it's not like their offense did anything. Their defense really set them up, put them in situations to score the points that they did. Yeah, their defense is top notch. They will be loading the line against Ahmad Hardy over and over and over again and forcing young Matt Zollers to throw the football. Interesting stat, because we know how big NIL is and the money and those things. And I talked about it before. I'll be shocked if I was talking to some parents last night. My senior son had to get together. They had no idea what was happening with NIL. These are parents of football players too. And they're like, that much money is out there for kids and NIL and, because high school kids and all sports. And if you're a parent that's listening, it doesn't matter if it's soccer, boys or girls, volleyball, basketball, football, the recruiting factor, the recruiting stuff has changed. And by the way, NIL, towns are creating their own NIL for high school athletes now. If you're at a high school, and it doesn't just have to be for, football, but I hear them create, I don't know how that would work. If you've got athletes at a high school, and if you've got people in the community that want to support them, is that legal to get kids paid to do things in high school now? I don't know. Can you ask Charlie today to ask Misha about that?
Yes, I will, because I've been thinking that too. Like, when When are the high school players going to start getting?
Because there's a town in Texas that they started to do that with their football team.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And then there was a town and they were public schools where they were in Ohio too, where they had the kids showing up and doing certain things. And you had a local organization that was using them and getting them money. And then I thought I read a story in the St. Louis area where they were trying to help kids get some, quote, spending cash, a little cash in their pockets, NIL, name, image, likeness in high school. I just thought that these parents would have known. It was a female, a mom, obviously, and then a dad with another kid. And I was explaining even how Matt Zoller's at Mizzou. By the way, his NIL is somewhere between 500 and 700 up and down right now. We all heard that it took close to $2 million to get Bo Prabula. When Missouri was also looking at Mendoza, the quarterback who ended up choosing Indiana. Typically, you're going to make 1.5, or at least the transfer. That's what the average has been. Friend of mine's son is making about 1.5 at Purdue right now. He's the quarterback, Ryan Brown. So there's a lot of money. People are like, what? 1.5 what? Million? Are you kidding me? That's the kind of money that's out there right now. That's why these college games have so much pressure on them. The kids have pressure on them too. The coaches have a lot of pressure as well. And we'll see what happens with Missouri and Oklahoma. But my gosh, Missouri gets to go play at Oklahoma Saturday with zero pressure on them. I mean, zero pressure. Because nobody expects them to win. You're a 9.5-point underdog at Oklahoma. And Oklahoma now has serious playoff implications. Serious. After beating Alabama at Alabama. I don't know. We'll see. And it's an early start time. Start pounding them with the rock. Start pounding Ahmad. That would be a whole lot of fun. If you're traveling, expect a lot of traffic this year for the holidays. AAA expects the traffic to be up. That is for sure from that standpoint. About 2 to 4% more people traveling this year for whatever the case, whatever the reason, at least 50 miles. And 90% of those traveling are going to be doing it by car, not by plane. I guess there's no surprise there. Also, Chauncey Billups, who has already been indicted federally for being a part of fixing poker games, has now been a coach that has been identified as giving insider information to gamblers on the Portland Trailblazers when he was there as coach, giving them inside information so they would know how to, quote, bet against his team. This stuff makes Pete Rose look like an angel. Let's just say that. And by the way, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. If you want to debate, argue about it, we can do that at another time. But what is happening in the NBA is a very, very, it's a dark cloud over the NBA that cannot be ignored. It is bad. And unfortunately, that story is getting worse as we thought that it would be too. Hey, by the way, we appreciate you guys joining us all the time here. As you know, we're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Love it when you guys jump into the show, talk with us, let us know what's happening. Love to get those stories that are coming out, focusing on St. Louis, all things St. Louis all the time. There's always something going on here. You know that. While the Blues may not be going in a great direction, we do have SLU basketball. They won again against Grand Canyon over the weekend. They're undefeated. Mizzou hoops playing tonight against Prairieville. They're undefeated. We talked about the SLU men's soccer team winning the A10. They're going to get to go play in the NCAA Division I tournament. Same thing with Lindenwood. They won their conference, the OVC, for the first time ever. Some positive news happening there. So congrats to Lindenwood from that story and that standpoint as well. I also found this interesting today before we get out of here. Right. How about this? A Gallup poll found that 40% of women, millennials and Gen Z, want to leave the United States for good. 15 to 44, 40%. Ages 50. That's your age group in there. But we talked about Gen, because you're, what are you guys again?
Gen Z.
Excuse me. I was trying to remember what the one before Gen Z is now I was like, what? They've even got their own? No, millennials are after.
After what?
What's the new group that's up to like 13 to 15?
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha. Yeah, but 40% of women, millennials and Gen Z, want to leave the United States for good because they don't like the way the country is. I just found that fascinating. Anyway, to each their own. We got to get out of here. This is Art City Now. That's producer Ryan, Vic Faust. Stay positive. Have an awesome day. Hot Take Central 2.0 is coming up next. I'll see you back for the MIZ STL show at 10 o'clock.